With shifting voter sentiment and crucial battlegrounds emerging, the latest polling averages from CBC News Poll Tracker provide a snapshot of where Canadians stand as of March 24th, 2025. Let's break it all down, region by region, vote by vote, national overview, a dead heat between the Liberals and Conservatives. The race for the next government remains too close to call. The Liberal Party holds a narrow lead with 37.7% of voter support, but the Conservatives are right behind at 37%, making this one of the closest national races in years. With just 0.7 percentage points separating the two, momentum in the coming weeks could be the deciding factor. The New Democratic Party, NDP, once seen as a major player in progressive politics, is polling at just 11.4%, struggling to gain traction nationwide. Meanwhile, the Bloc Québécois, with 6.4%, continues to be a significant force in Quebec, where it could play kingmaker in a minority government scenario. The Green Party is polling at 3.9%, maintaining a small but dedicated base of supporters, while the People's Party of Canada, PPC, sits at 2.3%, showing little national movement. Other smaller parties collectively account for 1.4% of voter preference. Regional breakdown, where the battle is being fought, British Columbia, a fierce liberal conservative battle. British Columbia remains a critical battleground. The Conservatives currently hold an edge at 40.5%, while the Liberals are close behind at 35.9%. The NDP, once strong in BC, is now at just 15.1%, struggling to keep pace. Meanwhile, the Greens, traditionally a force in parts of the province, are polling at 5.1%, while the PPC and other parties remain below 3%. With the province often producing unpredictable swings, BC will be a must-watch region on election night. Alberta, a conservative stronghold, but liberal inroads. Alberta continues to be a conservative fortress, with the party polling at a commanding 51.8%. However, the Liberals, while far behind, have 26%, a sign that they may be making gains in urban centers like Calgary and Edmonton. The NDP, traditionally more competitive in Alberta's urban ridings, sits at 14.4%, while the Greens, PPC, and other parties make up the remainder of the vote. If the Liberals can push closer to the 30% mark, Alberta could become more competitive than expected. Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the Conservative advantage holds. In the prairies, the Conservatives maintain a strong lead with 48.8% of the vote. The Liberals, at 30.5%, are performing better than in Alberta, but still face a significant gap. The NDP sits at 14.3%, struggling to gain a foothold, while the Greens, PPC, and other parties hold only marginal support. With Saskatchewan and Manitoba typically favoring right-leaning parties, the question remains whether the Liberals can build on their urban support in cities like Winnipeg to narrow the Conservative advantage. Ontario, the decisive battleground. Ontario, Canada's largest province, is once again proving to be the key battleground in this election. The Liberals currently lead with 41.7%, but the Conservatives are not far behind at 39%, a margin that could shift dramatically as the campaign progresses. The NDP, which has historically performed well in Toronto and Northern Ontario, is polling at 11.9%, a figure that suggests they may struggle to hold on to key seats. The Greens, PPC, and other parties remain in the low single digits. If the Liberals maintain their lead in Ontario, they could be on track for another term in government. But if the Conservatives narrow the gap or take the lead, it could Quebec, a three-way battle for influence. Quebec remains a unique political battleground, with the Liberals leading at 35.5%. However, the Bloc Québécois, polling at 28.4%, continues to be a dominant force, making it a major factor in seat distribution. If the Bloc maintains or grows its support, it could once again play a decisive role in a minority government scenario. The Conservatives at 22.2% are making some gains but remain far from the top. The NDP, once a major player in Quebec under Jack Layton, has dropped to just 6.8%, while the Greens and PPC hold only minimal support. With over 75 seats up for grabs, Quebec will be crucial in determining the balance of power in the next parliament. Atlantic Canada, a liberal fortress. Atlantic Canada remains a stronghold for the Liberals, who command a decisive 51.1% of voter support. The Conservatives trail at 31.8%, while the NDP at 9.8% has been unable to mount a strong challenge in the region. The Greens, PPC, and others hold minor shares of the vote. With numbers like these, the Liberals are expected to retain their dominance in Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick. This election remains too close to call, and every vote will count. What do you think about these latest numbers? Can the Liberals secure another term, or will the Conservatives gain the momentum they need? Will the Bloc influence a minority government, and can the NDP make a comeback? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates from CBC News Poll Tracker. Turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. Stay informed, stay engaged. Your vote matters.